Do you know what I like to do on a rainy night? I like to look at some baseball cards. I always associate rainy days, with baseball cards. Growing up, I grew up in the country, and we had a different field for every sport. We had a field up top we used as a football field, a field down below we used as a baseball field. My neighbor's dad put in a hoop on the road, so we would play basketball at the beginning of the season. We'd play in snow. We'd be out there, you couldn't even feel your hands. But we were constantly outside playing some sort of game. We used to play tackle, hide, and go seek at night, put on dark clothes. But when it rained, that's when we would stay in, flip our baseball cards, trade our baseball cards. We used to have, a box. We'd each have a box, and we'd just go from house to house. We'd have sleepovers. We'd take our baseball cards. Good memories. So it's been raining here all day and night, and just brings back those memories of baseball cards. Playing with my baseball cards, as my wife likes to say, and my mom. I'm always like, how can you play with baseball cards? I don't get it. We had an old abandoned reservoir up on the hill, back in the woods from our football field. And one day we decided to start playing baseball in it because it looked like a baseball stadium. I mean, it was concrete and cracked, had cracks all through it, grass growing out of the cracks, but you felt like you were in a baseball stadium. And we used to play baseball there, and that ball would come flying off the cement 100 miles an hour. It would hit a crack and almost take your head off, go in different directions. And that reservoir is the reason that for the only time my father ever hit me. I was always afraid of my dad. He never had to hit me. All he had to do was raise his voice. But his uncle had died, and we had just discovered that this reservoir that we wanted to play baseball on. And we used to play for hours on end, and I was playing baseball up there, and they were calling for me to go to this funeral that I didn't want to go to. And I was playing baseball, and my mother came up and got me and took me down, and it was the only time my father was mad enough to actually hit me. He hit me with a belt, and it didn't hurt at all. But I cried because I didn't want him to swing any harder. But it didn't hurt me at all. I told him years later. So I went to the Charleston card show. They have this every month now. The next one's in April. I got a few cards, but, coincidentally, ironically, whatever you want to say, when I got home, I reached in my pocket to take my money out, and I had exactly $3 left. And then I was like, damn, I could have bought a card. I thought that was funny. Let me show you what I got. I got an extravaganza here for you. I got some new holders in. I got some cool pieces in I want to share with you. I'm going to show you some cards I reholdered. I'm going to show you what I got at the show. I'm going to show you some random things. And I got an extra special piece here I'm looking forward to sharing with you. All right, so, I got some cheap cards. I was very happy about it. One, I got a 1952 Larry Doby Bowman. Not the greatest copy in the world, but I love the price. And I'm telling you, he's going to be the next player to blow up. Not that I bought it for that reason. I was telling the dealer. And I got this Ed Lopat, and it was just cheap, and it's a beautiful example. The 1950 Bowman. It's real clean and sharp. It has a little indentation there, and I'm sure that's why I got a 3. Other than that, it's a beautiful example of the card. So I got those two things, and I picked up this Shohei Ohtani. I think they threw it in for free. I just thought it was cool. I got this. This is pretty cool. This is a Nolan Ryan Stadium Club members only. I never had that card. A really cool card. And I got this Chipper Jones. You know, everybody around here, they're Braves fans. I got this minor league card. Never saw it before. It was super cheap. I got this. I'm a big fan of this guy, Adley Rutschman. And I got this for $1. You know, my man Victor, the rookie card specialist, he's always talking about how nobody wants base rookie cards anymore. He's right, man. $1. And I got this. I hope he recovers from his ankle shattering. But it's a beautiful O'Neal Cruz. So I spent very little money. And I came home with $3 extra. Oh, and I got 2 other things. Now, don't judge me. Don't judge me. But I think he's going to be just fine. I think he was a product of a bad system, bad coaching. I got some Kenny Pickett autograph card there. And Adonis. And these things are cheap. They're not expensive like Will Greer cards. Whoa! Cool cards. All right. I got this. 1954. And this is a, what's this one? Dolan's Ice Cream. It's like the Dixie lids most of you are probably familiar with of Minnie Minoso. And it is so cool. That's what it looks like on the back. Sometimes I just write a year on it if, if I'm not, it's not obvious or I can't remember the exact year all the time. Just as a little reminder there for when I'm looking at it a month from now. My man, AD, Aaron, will text sometimes and he sends me some cool boxing cards and football cards and stuff. And he sent me, he has a fantastic example of this particular card, and I thought I'd show it because it's such a great card. I had really forgotten how great it was till he shared it with me. And that is Pete Pios. And Pete Pios was a fantastic wide receiver for the Eagles back in the day. He was known to never drop a pass, and was very critical of the receivers that came after him. They always said they get paid to catch the ball, they shouldn't drop the ball. And this image here is just indicative of the hands he had. Such a great image. Now this card's pretty pricey. To get a top one, you're going to pay a lot of money. One thing I find interesting about this is you could see that it is off-center top to bottom. But the back is perfectly centered. And that's a phenomenon with the old vintage cards. Oftentimes it's reversed. You'll have a perfectly centered front and an off-centered back. Don't know how that happened. I know I have a viewer here on the printing business. It always enlightens me. Maybe you could enlighten me on that. I got this fantastic Mike Bossy record breaker card. This thing is fantastic. I had never seen this card before. As soon as I saw it, I had to have it. Mike Bossy was a scoring machine. And he still is the all-time scoring leader in goals per games played. Per games played. Mario Lemieux second. Wanted to upgrade my 1954 Monty Irvin, and I found what I thought was a cheap autograph version, so I grabbed it. So nice. And this is a fantastic card that had escaped me for a long time, and I don't know how. Just fantastic. 1964, Hank Aaron and Willie Mays. I don't know why these multiplayer cards are not more expensive. The 58 Mantle and Aaron is one of the greatest baseball cards ever made. One of my favorites of all time. But why do people pay more for a single player card than two of the greatest to ever play the game? Is beyond me. I don't know. But I'm thrilled to get this. And I didn't have this for my set, so I decided to finally get one. And the thing with this card is the image. You know, the registration, the clarity of the image is tough. It's tough to find a nice, clean one. And I'm a bit of a centering junkie, but first and foremost, I want a nice image, and then centering. And this is a beauty, actually. It's a 1939 play ball Bill Dickey, and it's a fantastic pose. Nice clean card. And I got this Kyle Hamilton rookie patch. Fantastic player. Okay, this is a special item. It's going to be a longer video than normal. I have so much stuff to show you. This is a special item. Now, this is, I believe, from 1917 or 18. I believe 17. This was an Indian school. It was the Chilocco Indian School. I believe the team was together in 1917 and 1918 only, I believe. And these are so hard to find. This is an old team postcard of that Native American team. And I believe it has Moses Yellow Horse in there. I know he played for the team at that time, but I'm having a hard time identifying for sure if he's there and which one he is. I believe this is him here, but I'm not 100% sure. I posted this on the Facebook Saber group to see if anybody could help me out. So the picture is on there, and I enlarged the player I think is him. Now, Moses Yellow Horse, he's an interesting character and worth a read if you want to go on to Saber's website. He played 2 years for the Pittsburgh Pirates. When he went to the Pirates, he befriended Rabbit Moranville. And Rabbit Moranville introduced him to drinking. And they would go out and drink a lot. And he became an alcoholic. And it ruined his baseball career. Obviously, he went back to the minors and played. But he played in 1921 and 1922 for my Pittsburgh Pirates. He was a pitcher and an early Native American player. But this is a great piece of baseball history right here. I've only ever seen one other team card like this. It was on, I can't remember which auction house, Heritage, REA, one of those. When I was, researching it and so forth, one popped up from a while back. Didn't sell for a lot of money. So, I'm sure most people don't even know what this is. But I am very happy to have that little piece of history. I got this. I had done a video on Ezra Charles, the Cincinnati Cobra. And I've been getting his cards. This is my third one now, and this is fantastic. The 1951 ringside. The only guy to go the full distance with Rocky Marciano twice. And he fought 10 boxing Hall of Famers and beat 9 of them. And he's the only one to ever do that. Not Muhammad Ali, not Joe Louis, not Jack Johnson. Ezra Charles, a powerful, quick heavyweight. Although he fought in different weight classes. He gained weight fighting heavyweight. I saw this at the show that I went to, and I realized I didn't have it for my 73 set. Earl Williams has a dear place in my heart because one of the first baseball cards I ever remember seeing was his 1975 baseball card. And for whatever reason, it just stuck out to me. It may be a card I pulled from my very first pack of 75s. Definitely early on. Because 75 was the first year I really bought cards. And it's from 1982-83, I believe. And this is a Post cereal. Mike Bossy. Got a Mike Bossy theme going on here. Tiny little cards. And I got this Bob McAdoo. The only thing bad about these vintage basketball cards is, because of licensing, they have, what's it say? They always have. Oh no, that has the name. A lot of times their jersey is on backwards or something. I thought that was one of them, but I was wrong. And one of the greatest baseball cards ever made from the 1971 set, and this is the O-Pee-Chee version. I'd love to get the O-Pee-Chees specifically from 71, 72, and 73 mostly are the ones I collect, although I like them from all years. And this is the Veda Pinson. Just a fantastic card. And for my 72 set, I didn't have Game 2. So I had to get that with Brooks Robinson. I need to go back and watch Game 2 and see who's sliding in there. I gotta go find this play. In 2013, Panini made Golden Age. And I don't know how many years they made it. I know I had bought them in 2012. But the 2013 are cooler. They have all kind of cool stuff in there. It's just a fun set to collect. They had like the old Ferguson pennants remade, and I got Secretariat in there, and they remade like old postcards. It's just a really cool set if you like older players on new product. And one of the things they did was they redid the Colgan's chips, and they made them bigger, and they're just dynamic images. The Satchel Paige is fantastic. Josh Gibson, Lou Gehrig is awesome. So I kind of work on that set a little bit, that Colgan's, because I love the original Colgan's. And I got this Jackie Robinson. And for my my 1958 top set, I got this Marv Thornberry. And just a cool looking card. I can 99% of the time tell if I see a card, know if I need it for my set. Every once in a while, I forget I picked one up. A 1939 exhibit, Bill Dickey. Fantastic. How awesome is that? Blows my mind you could find these things in such great shape. They're not all wrinkled up. I mean, who kept something like this in such great condition? Some kid from 1939 put a penny in and got a turned the handle and a card dropped down. I mean, right away it probably had a dinged corner. Blows my mind. And here's the other exhibits, the more common 47 to 66. Harmon Killebrew. Really good looking exhibit card. And I don't know how, I had never seen this one before. So when I saw it, I had to get it. Alright guys, I'm going to go through and show you, I've been reholdering some cards now that I have my new labels. And, I can't do all my cards, so I just started on certain sets that I thought would look good in them. And, maybe some key rookie cards, some of my favorite cards from the set, that kind of thing. And the way my labels are, they look great with my Pittsburgh teams. So I did some of those. So I just did a few cards. First, I have Andy Van Slyke, and this is the Aqueous Test. Andy Van Slyke was a great center fielder for us. Part of those championship teams 3 years in a row. And I have a great Andy Van Slyke memory. I was 25 years old, and I was a client of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. And so they took me to Bradenton to spring training one year. And I hadn't played baseball in years, right? Hadn't thrown a ball in years. So I'm standing on the, next to the field, on the side of the field, watching everybody warm up, and somebody throws a ball away past the right fielder, and it rolls to my feet. And Andy Van Slyke is in center field, and he's like this. Well, actually, he's like this. He's a left-hander. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to humiliate myself trying to throw this to center field. I haven't thrown a ball in years. And I always had a good arm. That was the best thing I had, because I grew up like a Clemente fan, and I read this one book. I had this Clemente book. It was beat to hell and back, and every recess I would read it. And my teacher finally handed it to me. She's like, just take it home with you already. And she gave it to me, and I'm still looking for that. I can't figure out where it is. But anyway, so Clemente in that book said he used to squeeze a rubber ball to strengthen his throwing arm. So I used to squeeze a rubber ball to strengthen my throwing arm. And from the time I was a little kid, that's the one thing I always practiced more than anything, was throwing the ball from the outfield, on a rope with accuracy. So I always had a good arm. But anyway, I hadn't thrown a ball in forever. And I didn't want to humiliate myself in front of Andy Van Slyke. So he's standing there in center field. And I'm like, please God. And I threw, man, it hit him right in the chest. I was so proud of myself. One of my greatest memories. I put this one in a holder. This is a Gypsy Queen Starling Marte autograph. And I just love this card. And I decided to put one of my Mike Bossy rookies. Man, it's a Mike Bossy day, isn't it? I just love this card. I have 2 of them. I don't have that many holders, so I put one in there. And Tom Brady's first prism. Decided to put that in there. Now, I reholdered some other cards, and I have many of these, but I decided to put one in one of these, and that's my Lynn Swann rookie card. Anytime I could find a centered one, I want it. Tough card to find centered. For you PSA addicts, tough to find 10s in that baby. And you pay pretty good money for a 9, too. And I have several of these, but I put a Mel Blount rookie in here. And somebody mentioned in the comments on my Lynn Swann video that this guy was better than Lynn Swann. And I will just say this. I was a huge fan of this guy, but I don't think he was better than Lynn Swann. But that's Cliff Branch. Rookie card. I have another one that's signed and graded, but I prefer to have 2 if one's signed, because I like a nice clean card. And just a great classic, Franco Harris. And Mean Joe Green. I love this 75 set. One of my favorite all-time sets of any sport. And this is one of my favorite cards. And I loved this guy growing up. He did an interview, and he had this ritual. He would fumble every warm-up before the game. And they were like, why would you do that? And he's like, no one's perfect, and I'd rather do it in practice. And that's Greg Pruitt with, you got Joe Green chasing him down there. Such an awesome card. In fact, Greg Pruitt, there was a Mike Pruitt that was the fullback, and they were not related. I always thought they were brothers, but they weren't. His 77 I have over there signed. That's a fabulous card, and his 76 is fantastic too. But what a great football card right there. It doesn't get any better than that. And got the 74 Chimps. Jack Ham, just a great all-around outside linebacker, interception machine. Jack Lambert said he was the greatest outside linebacker he ever watched. And he watched him a lot. Doesn't quite get the hobby love for how good he was. And this guy was fantastic. But you don't hear a lot about him because there were so many stars on that Pittsburgh team. But he was a fantastic safety. He was our free safety, and that is Mike Wagner. And thanks to a fellow YouTuber friend, you know who you are, I got to FaceTime with this guy about 2 years ago. It was cool. Andy Russell. Another great linebacker. Of course, overshadowed by Jack Lambert, Jack Ham. But he was a really good linebacker too. And then after him was Robin Cole, who was another really good linebacker you don't hear much about. I decided to do some of my 1957 Topps baseball. Of course, this set is loaded with rookies. So here's my Bill Mazeroski. Don Drysdale, rookie. Jim Bunning, rookie. Rocky Colavito. Rocco. He's named Rocco here, but Rocky Colavito, rookie. Rocco, Rocky. What difference does it make? Bobby Richardson, rookie. Tony Kubek, rookie. Whitey Herzog, rookie. And one of the best baseball cards ever made. I had to put this in one. This is one of the best baseball cards ever made. Big Ted Kluszewski. Wearing a Mangini shirt. I believe this was the first Warren Spahn I ever got. This is from my childhood collection. And when I was putting it in here, I can't believe how sharp it is. Sharp corners. I can't believe I kept it in this condition. So this one always is special to me. I've been looking at that card most of my life. This is a really sharp Roy Campanella. A tad off center, but really sharp otherwise. I do have a centered one. It has a little surface crease, so that I have two of these. But my other one, you know, it looks so fantastic to me. I don't care. It's one of those ones you kind of have to tilt to see it, and it's perfectly centered. So here's a great Dick Groat. This is a fantastic Dick Groat card. And I do believe either this or his rookie was the very first one I got. But I got them probably both close proximity to each other as a kid at my little flea market I used to go to. And I remember how excited I was to get this. Another one that is in remarkable condition for getting it as a child. It's Louis Aparicio. Aparicio. We always mispronounced his name growing up, Aparicio. Old habits are hard to break. And I did some... These are all 1971 cards now. And this is the last batch I have for you. This is, I don't usually go this long. I don't have that kind of attention span. You know, some people like novels, and other people like poetry. I'm more of a poetry guy, like read it, get it over with. I got a nice Greg Lazinski, the Bull, autograph rookie card. I was a fan of his. And gotta have a regular one too. Ken Forsch, autograph rookie card. Of course, his brother Bob played too. He was a pitcher. Ken was the better pitcher. I have a number of these. Here's one of my Bly 11 rookies. Had a short stint on my Pirates. And was on our World Series team. I get two of these, and then I have a graded one. These things were so... I don't know what they sell for now, but they were so cheap a few years ago that if I saw them, I just bought them. And, man, this is one of the greatest cards in the 71 set. It's a tough card, and it's really tough to find in top condition. I have a beauty here. That's Dick Allen. Nolan Ryan. Got another Nolan Ryan. Got Willie Mays. Got a couple of Hank Aaron's. I love this card. I don't know that everybody feels that way. I don't know why I love it. I just love it. Brooks Robinson. Johnny Bench. Real nice example there. Ernie Banks. Al Kaline. Bob Gibson. Rod Carew. This was always a favorite of mine. It was one I had early on. And it's just a classic to me. It just has so much sentimental value, this one. And that's Catfish Hunter. You know, when I was watching him, so later in the 70s, you know, everybody started growing out their hair. And they looked quite different than their old cards. And so when you would get one that was older, that you never saw before... you know, for me, I was kind of enamored with the way they looked. They were all clean, you know, clean shaven for the most part, short hair, because in the 70s, things changed in a big way. You had a lot of beards and a lot of big hair, long hair. This is Ron Santo. Another tough short print, tough to find, top condition, Boot Powell. I have two of these. I have two of the Dick Allens too. It's another card that if I find it, I just grab it. And I have a really sharp one. I should probably grade this one. Phil Niekro. But who cares? Looks better in this holder. Well, my video went so long, my phone ran out of storage. So I had to jump back on here to say thanks for hanging out with me.